Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is part 2 of the video where I'm discussing about the tactics that are personally helping me as a productivity noob from the book Make Time. So if you're here for the first time, make sure you watch part 1 of the video. Let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As I said at the start, I've been making videos about non-fiction books and I speak about lessons that are personally helping me make my life better. As I said, this is part 2 of the video where I'm discussing about lessons, hacks and tactics that are personally helping me, being slightly more productive than what I was a couple of months back, right? So I divided this video into 4 parts where first we spoke about identify, what keeps you busy, hacks and tactics to get things done, right? Now in this video, we are going to be speaking about dealing with distractions, obviously through your smartphones, through your computer and things like that. And how sleep, diet and all the other things, reflections are very important for you to be productive, right? So I've discussed about the first 9 hacks in the part 1 of this video. This is part 2 of the video. As I said at my first video, for the benefit of people who are just watching this video, Make Time is a book, that gives you a buffet of options across dealing with distractions, choosing your highlight of the day, ensuring that you stay energized and ensure that you're reflecting, right? So there is a buffet of options to, kind of execute, implement and make yourself more productive. So just a disclaimer that this video is not a substitute for you reading the book. I highly recommend that you pick up this book, read it and let me know what you folks think, right? And I'm just speaking about lessons that are personally helping me. So yeah, here we go. So we're gonna be in lesson number 10. Right, so lesson number 10 is a pretty simple one. I think a lot of books, papers have been written on this. Is being defensive about using your phone and controlling the defaults, right? So this is something that I read in Atomic Habits as well. Again, the review is put up in the description below. So you're not going to be relying on your willpower to get things done, right? Rather you create an environment. So that's what I've done with my phone as well, right? I've switched off notifications from all the apps. I don't have any social media apps on my phone, and I have like apps that restrict my usage of social media or other apps on my phone, right? So I've controlled the environment in my phone where I'm not kind of pulled away by infinity pools and distractions, right? So that's my lesson number 10. Be defensive about how you use your phone and control the defaults, right? Because I made a small observation like around 3-4 months back, right? I would just be lying on my couch, or I would just be like going on a bus or a metro, and I realized that my default was to just go to LinkedIn or Twitter to just keep refreshing to see, and I realized, oh my god, I was so addicted to these platforms. And the moment I controlled this, my phone time came down drastically, at least by 50-60%, right? I wouldn't say I'm still up there with respect to dealing my distractions with phone, but yes, it has drastically reduced, and I'm measuring the gain. Again, something that I spoke about in Atomic Habits, right? So that's my lesson number 10, being defensive about using your phone. Let's go to lesson number 11, right? Don't wear a smartwatch. Again, this is something that I'm practicing. In one of the videos I did speak about having an Apple Watch. I think it was Atomic Habits, where I kept myself a goal to buy an Apple Watch. But what I realized is, hey, I'm already very distracted by my laptop, by my phone, and Apple Watch is just gonna add to a lot more distractions that I'm already trying to control. So again, this is something that I am personally implementing. I'll leave it to you, or if you have a better way of dealing with the distraction, go ahead and do it. But personally, at least for the foreseeable future, where I feel I'm not, I'm like not mastered the art of being defensive, I'm not going to be wearing a smartwatch. So lesson number 12, ignore the news and the morning check-in, right? So this is something that has done wonders for me. So my default a couple of months back was to wake up, check the news on Twitter, read a newspaper and watch the news channel. And more often than not, with all the news going on around the world, I felt like, oh my god, okay, what's happening, right? And I started my day where I let the news and things on my phone control how I felt about the day, right? The moment I switched off notification, I skipped the morning check-in and I stopped watching the news, I instantly felt much better, and I felt like immediately I had a lot of time, right? So as a principle, what have I started doing? The first 4 hours of the day, I don't use the phone. My phone is in general mode, so in case someone wants to reach me over phone for some emergency. But apart from that, I don't check messages, I don't check social media apps. Again, I don't have any social media apps on my phone, but I don't check the news, I don't do anything. I just do things that I personally enjoy. Probably a workout, I read for some time, and I write scripts wherever I feel like I have the energy to do. do, and at times help with some household chores. So this is what my morning routine looks like. So I skip the morning check-in and reading the news. So if it's something that resonates with you and kind of news makes you feel bad or controls how you feel about the day, try this and let me know what you think. Now let's go to lesson number 13, right? Performing an app commission. So see how much time you're spending on each of these apps and just ask yourself, hey, am I drawing any value from this app by being on phone? I'm not saying totally eliminate social media or do away with all the apps, right? So just think about whether you want to really have that app on the phone and with accessibility of 24/7, or can you access through your desktop or your laptop and things like that. That way instantly you're removing 50% of chances that you could be accessing apps that you could be accessing from your desktop. So perform an app commission, only have apps that absolutely add value to your life and help you deal with distractions, right? For example, I have the Kindle app, I have the Notion app, and the Apple Notes on my phone, so that anytime an idea strikes or I come across something interesting, I take a note. Apart from this, I have very minimal apps to help me edit photos for my thumbnails and things like that. So I don't have any social media app, any news apps on my phone. Again, I know we have repeated this point a couple of times, but do perform an app commission, so that you are aware of what's getting you distracted, right? We're going to be going into number 14, hack number 14 again, which is checking your email only twice a day, right? Because we are in a world where we think always I need to be available to someone who's just mailing me. Trust me, that's not the case, right? So here is the author says deal with all your emails only at the end of the day. But I felt that was a bit stretch because of the kind of work that I do. So I check it once in the morning, once I reach my office or once my working hour starts, and I check it once during the evening. And I've switched off my email notifications, because every time the email notification pops in, I feel the urgency to just go and reply. So here again, what I'm doing, I'm not letting something urgent kind of hinder what's important, right? It's not that I'm not doing any office work, I'm doing creative work that will benefit ultimately the organization. So ensure that you're dealing with emails the right way that you're dealing with social media as well, right? So author recommends that you schedule time for this, but personally I do it twice a day. And number 15, have a visible timer when you're working on highlight of the day, right? So here is what happens. Again, there are days when I'm shooting the video, I feel like, oh my god, I'm not in the flow, or I feel like maybe this could be better, or I'm anxiously checking my time to see if 90 minutes is done. Usually I have my highlight for 90 minutes of the day. So I have a 90-minute timer. Probably I'll show all the gadgets that I'm using for productivity in some other video. So I have a very visible timer, something like a Pomodoro timer, which tells me that I have more than halfway to go, so I just keep working, right? There are times when I'm getting distracted, which I'm going to be speaking about in the next section, but I have a very visible timer that tells me how much time I have to go to complete my highlight of the day. So until my time for the highlight of the day is completed, I never work on something else. So that's lesson number 15. Now we are going to the fourth and the final section of the video, which is about taking care of yourself to be more productive, right? So that brings me to lesson number 16. While you're working on the highlight, you feel distracted, take a short walk, or just breathe, observe your breathing pattern, or if you still feel like you're not able to calm your mind down, just start writing, right? So I have a special folder in my Apple Notes where I speak about my feelings whenever I feel like, oh my god, I'm irritated by not able to work on my highlight. I just start writing down what I'm feeling, right? So here is where it helps me, right? The moment I put words into my feelings, I feel that I've kind of let it out, and it helps me at least calm down. I might not complete my highlight of the day, but at least I know what has distracted me. So, and this has worked on 7 or 10 times for me. Personally, it works for me. I don't know if it will work for you, but do try it out and let me know, right? So that's lesson number 16. Deal with distractions by not going to your phone, but by rather ensuring that you write down what you feel, or let's say taking a short walk or listening to your favorite music and things like that. Let's go to lesson number 17. The hunter-gatherer phenomenon. Again, this is something that was phenomenal for me, has worked phenomenally for me. What the author goes on to say is, as humans, we are folks who walk a lot to get our food, right? So this has been one of the major contributors for me for productivity, right? So whenever I'm on an office call, which is going to be for 45 minutes or 1 hour, I keep walking inside the room, and instantly I feel that my energy levels are up. right? So I restrict the number of meals I have in my day to ensure that I feel more productive. Again, because the moment you have a heavy meal, your energy levels are coming down, your body is focusing more energy on digesting the food rather than focusing on getting things done. So I always ensure that I walk a lot, right? So I have a standing desk at my office. Every 25-30 minutes I ensure that I take a walk if I am not working on my highlight of the day and things like that. So ensure that you are optimizing your daily activities for the hunter-gatherer phenomenon, right? So that's my lesson number 17. Lesson number 18, right? So what you eat and how you sleep has a very drastic effect, right? So again, the author goes on to say what you could be eating, how light or how this thing your meal needs to be, when you need to take a caffeine. I'm not going to delve into those details, but I highly recommend you watch, what you eat versus how your energy is being there, right? Because ultimately productivity is also about managing your energy and not just your time, right? So keep an eye out for what you eat and how you feel. So that's my lesson number 18, right? Lesson number 19 is sleeping in a cave. Man, I must say this has been so life changing, because the author again says, gives you a lot of tips about how you can sleep well, but the underlying principle to all this is to get a good 8-hour sleep in a good dark room, and obviously waking up early, or sleeping in a very fixed time, right? And how rest ensures that you are more productive and you have energy to complete all the things that you want to, right? So sleep is such an important part about productivity, because often I'm guilty as charged as well, where I thought productivity is just about getting a lot of things done in a given point of time. I realized that hey, productivity can just be about getting a minimal set of things done. Enjoy the process and ensure that you rest well to turn up another day and get things done. So that's my lesson number 19. Right, the 20th and the final lesson is to kind of review, take notes, and then review your highlights and feel good about how you've been feeling through the year, through the days, through the weeks, and things like that. Again, because what you don't measure, you cannot improve, right? So actively take notes about, hey, what are the tasks that gave me energy? What are the tasks that took away a lot of energy for me? Where was I getting distracted? Where is the place where I felt I could have done more? Where is it that I was just going above and beyond, spending my energy and getting a lot of things done? Identifying kind of patterns into things helps you ultimately optimize everything that you do, right? Again, I want to leave you with one parting thought, is that the one thing that I repeated in my lesson number 19 is productivity is not about you getting a lot more things done. It's just about, personally for me, feeling happy about the things that you have done, and measuring the gain and not the gap, because we all have finite number of time. It's just about getting things done that gives you the energy, gives you happiness, gives you satisfaction and joy, and just not about ticking one task, going to the next one, ticking one task and going to the other. So keep that in mind and do read this amazing book. It is life changing, right? I would say it's one of the 3 or 4 books that has changed the way I look at productivity and habits. And I would love for you to give it a read and let me know if there are some other hacks that are working for you. Do add it in the comments. Until I see you in the next video, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off.